Hello, happy Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday night, and I'm sitting in the floor with these creatures here, and I just came up with a new word, and I wanted to share it with you. They're brat-holes. They are brat-holes. Yes, they are. I love them dearly. It's my fault that they're brats, but they're brat-holes. So anyway, so my sister came down today. I don't know why I'm talking with this thing like it's part of the video. It is now. So my sister came down today and we went shopping. Yes, we did. We went shopping. And we went into Old Time Pottery and walked around, and that was quite lovely. And I got to get inspired. Yeah, I was all inspired to come home and organize and clean. I didn't do either. I came home and walked my dogs. And then we went to another couple of stores up in Woodstock. And, you know, they kind of inspired me in other ways. Like, they were pretty and smelled good. And, I mean, that one was a clothing store and the other one was a home type store. But it was just like clean and smelling good. And so all that time I was out shopping, I kept thinking, I'm going to go home and clean. I'm going to go home and straighten the house and clean and vacuum and mop and wash the clothes and wash the sheets and do all the things. And then we went and got Mexican food and went back to my dad's and we had lunch. And then I came home and I changed into my, home clothes. And then I took the dogs for a walk and came back home and fixed us all some dinner. And these brat-holes have been asleep on the floor. And I have been literally doing nothing until just a few minutes ago when I got up to go check the mail. And when I came back in, I decided it was time for their evening brush up. Yeah, their evening brush up. You got an itch there, buddy, on the back of your paw? Huh? Back up. God. I'm sorry, did I leave you hanging? I left her hanging with a brush laying on her back. She didn't care because she didn't move. Yeah. So they each get their evening brush up. Yeah, it's mostly, don't tell Charlie, but it's mostly for Penny because her little fur gets all tangled up if she doesn't get brushed a lot. So mostly it's for her, but don't tell Charlie. I pretend like it's all for him because he's a brat hole and everything's about him. But that's okay. I got a picture today at Old Time Pottery. It's a little, one of those little, 10 by 10, 12 by 12 painted pictures. It looks a lot like him. It's got the one flop ear and the one big ear. The only difference is that dog is more of a tan, where Charlie is a dark brown, and that dog's got some white here, but otherwise it's the same dog. I'll put in a picture. It's cute. I was like, oh, it looks like Charlie. And my sister was like, it does. I said, I know, I have to have it. So anyway, and then I got some bottoms to clay pots. That was really important. And then I got the pasta bowls that go with my plate set, my dinnerware set. Is that what you call it? I don't think it's called a plate set, Tracy. I think it's called a dinnerware set. Anyway, they had the pasta bowls, which could be salad bowls, but they're not deep and they're bigger around. I like bowls like that. I mean, I like those other bowls for like cereal. This is important stuff we're talking about here. It's bowls, okay? But I like the shallow bowls for like a salad or pasta. I don't know why that's important. But my sister picked it up and showed it to me, and I said, that's my dinnerware set. I mean, that's it. And those are the pasta bowls that I don't have. And she said, well, I'll buy 2. And I said, well, I'll buy the other 2. I'd probably need 2 more. I mean, I never have company. Oh, let me get up. Sorry. It's hard getting up when you're old and your back hurts. I'll be right back, Brat-holes. Oh, you know what? Instead of putting in a picture, I'll just show you. Look at him. Him's got the floppy hair and everything. $14.99. I was like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it, okay? So this is, I slightly closed the laundry room door, and Gracie came to the door and stood staring like she couldn't get out even though it was open. So I wanted to make sure she got out. So this is my stuff. Sorry, as per usual, my phone rang in the middle of a video. I know it's shocking. Happens all the time. Anyway, so that was my plate. I said stuff because my phone was ringing. And yeah, anyway, that was my plate. And this is the pasta bowl I got today. See how shallow it is? So Old Time Pottery sells by the plate or by the bowl or by the whatever, the cup. So if you can only afford to get a couple, then you can go back and get a couple more and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I got 4. I think I have 6 plates. So to have an actual set, I probably do need 2 more. But I'll just wait. I mean, they got a ton of them. And if I don't get 2 more, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. But I repotted my... My brother brought me this plant, and it had been sitting outside during that hard freeze. It's a, I don't know if you can see because it's so dark in here. Christmas cactus or Thanksgiving cactus. Anyway, it had been sitting outside and it had practically died. And he brought it to me and he was like, fix it or do something with it or throw it away, but here. I was like, cool. So I've just been letting it sit and just trying to see. I've got the phone on my face. Anyway, what it was going to do. And it wasn't dying. So I got it out last night and I just took all the dead off of it. And there was new life growing underneath. So I already had that pot and I already had fresh dirt. So I just repotted it because I don't know if you know this, but these Christmas cactuses like this, isn't this beautiful? Let me turn you around. Okay, so this is a Christmas cactus, or sometimes people call them Thanksgiving cactus, but if one of these little things break off, all you have to do is stick it in dirt. This one's growing weeds. In the house, it's growing weeds. Look at there. Anyway, all you have to do is stick it in the dirt and keep it watered, you know. You don't have to water these a lot, obviously, because they're cactuses. They're cacti. But anyway, this one has started rooting and it's starting to grow other things. And that's just what broke off of another plant. I just watered this last night. It does look terribly dry, but if you stick your finger down in there, it feels moist down in the hole, and that's what you want. Uh-oh, get back in there. Get back. Why do I have... Gosh. So, see the little roots? Just take a little hole, stick it down in there, and that's it. And to check any plant, you just stick your finger down in there. That's an orchid. And make sure it has some moisture. Some moisture to it. I can't get my finger in here because there's so many rocks. But I just watered all of these so they're all moist. See how many times I can say that word. But I'm happy that I've been able to keep this one alive for as long as I have because a lot of people have trouble growing them. But to be honest, the only thing that I do is make sure and take them out of a plastic pot. I don't have any of mine in plastic pots. and I repot every year. So I don't go out and buy all new pots. I'll just put this in a bigger pot and move something into this pot and something into this pot. I just kind of make them all take turns. But those are not real. That one's real, that one's real, and then nothing on the bottom. So anyway, y'all didn't ask for all that, but you got it anyway. And then I was given this as a gift, and by my coworker's husband, because he was thankful for what I did to help his lovely bride, which is my friend Lisa, while he was having his surgery. So anyway, it's a Gerber daisy, as you can see right here. But I repotted it today. I gave it some fresh dirt, and I've watered it real good. But I had to buy some of these bottoms. So anyway. Well, anyway, this video's been a whole big ado about nothing. But another thing that that I wanted to do, well, when I was going to meet my sister today, I thought, you know, maybe we can go to Pike's. Because one thing that keeps coming to me is I want to get out and start planting. It's not time to plant. March 10th is not the time to plant in Georgia. But see, I watched these farmers in Texas, and I watched these people in Alabama, farmers in Alabama. Well, the farmers in Alabama have a greenhouse. And the farmers in Texas, well, it's already like 80 degrees there. But we're going to be in the 20s next week. So I can't be for doing much planting outside. So I need to hold my horses. I was told by a friend of mine who was a landscaper to never do your outdoor planting until April 15th. There is a whole lot of temptation between now and April 15th for me, because we're going to have a lot of warm days. We're going to have a lot of days in the 70s and the low 80s between now and April 15th, but we're also going to have some days in the 20s and low 30s. And see, those two don't mix. So I need to hold my horses, but the problem is, on those days when it's 70 degrees, it's perfect. It's just perfect. And you want to go out and you want to dig in the dirt and you want to do all this stuff. And then you get frost warning. And you're like, well, crap, I'm going to lose everything I just planted. But if you wait till April 15th, it's going to be summer. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. There's going to be gnats flying up my nose. There's going to be all the things that are making me mad. I mean, right now we're in pollen. I started to say a wordy dird. We're in pollen Hades. Yeah, we're in the midst of pollen Hades. So I don't really want to be outside right now, but we had rain yesterday, which means the pollen was down today. My car looks normal again. My car looks grayish blue again. But it'll all come back. Yep, it's all going to come back. But yeah, one morning, I think it's Tuesday morning, it's going to be 27 degrees. Which I know, now some of y'all hadn't even got away from that. But we have. We've had days dang near 80 degrees. So to go back to 27, and then go back to 80, and then go back to 27, and then go back to 80, you just don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to wear. You get up and get ready for work thinking, oh, it's 27 degrees. I need to dress, you know, for the cold weather that's outside. But that afternoon, that afternoon it's going to be 65 degrees, and you're going to be like, good Lord, I'm so hot. I wore all these clothes, and it's not that cold outside anymore. That's pretty much spring here. Yeah. I used to, when I was in my younger days was, well, to be honest, I didn't have dogs to walk. So, you know, that makes a big difference. So I would just walk out the door and go walk in, get in my car. I could actually crank it from inside. Yeah. And I would go get in the car and it would be warm. So I would go ahead and start wearing my sandals on what the afternoon temperature would be. I would show up in a cute little dress and heels, sandals, you know, at work. I wasn't worried about how cold it was because I knew how warm it was going to be when I got off. Yeah, but no, I got to walk dogs. And I can, you know, wear my warm shoes, but that's how I end up at work wearing my house shoes. Yeah, that's how it happens. Because I come home and my feet are warm and I just get in the car and go to work and I'm like, well, I didn't change my shoes. So you just got to be real careful if you're going to do stuff like that. If you're going to dance with the devil. I really absolutely had nothing to talk about today. So there's your video about nothing. I'm kind of like Seinfeld. It's just a show about nothing. That's me. That's my videos. It's a whole show about nothing. But anyway, I did have fun with my sister though. She was feeling a lot better than she's been feeling. And oh boy, we went to a store. Oh boy, did we go to a store. They had beautiful stuff. I said, if I'm ever rich and famous, I'm going to come buy all my clothes here. Probably not, because I don't like paying that much for clothes. But I would have the option, right? So they had this dress. My grandmother would have called it a muumuu. Okay? That's basically what it looked like, was a muumuu. It was except it was cuter. Don't get me wrong, it was cute. But it was like a sundress type thing. But it wasn't fitted, it wasn't flattering, it just hung. You know, it was a loose fit. Had like I think it had like a little ruffly thing around the bottom. It was this really pretty shabby chic fabric. You know what I'm saying? Material. It was cottony and it was had these little flowers on it. But then birds had been, what's the word? Not appliqued, but you know, stitched. Is that appliqued? It's like hand stitched. I don't know what they call it. It's not cross stitch. It's more like, I don't know what it's called. But anyway, they had birds that were hand sewn. I mean, I know they were probably hand sewn. They had a dress right next to it that didn't have the birds. Why is my ear ringing? That didn't have the birds on it. Hello? And yeah, but the ones with the birds that were sewn on it, $500. I was like, no, no, no. Not even if I had a lot of money to just throw away. But they did have a lot of cool stuff. They had some pieces that were like resin pieces. So I was like, wonder if I could make some of these since I'm a professional now, because I've made one piece of, well, two resin things, but they were little charm type things. It was like a little pendant and it had like a picture in it. It had one picture on one side and then one picture on the other side. It was a pretty little pendant. And then resin. So I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway, it was coated with resin. And those were cute. They had some with little cardinals on them, which we liked. And they had one with an owl on it, which I liked. And I really wanted one with a Luna moth, because that's my new obsession. I mean, I'm not giving up on my owls, but I don't know. I have a thing for a Luna moth. But I know that's probably weird to most of y'all, but there's a story that goes with it. I want it as a tattoo, to be honest. But I have a hard time. I have a hard time spending that much money for a tattoo. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that one's going to be expensive. I don't want a big one, but the morning after my mom died, I saw a Luna moth just hanging out. It was the end of September, and it was hanging out on a wall at the shopping center where me and Charlie were, well, and Penny were walking. And you know, they're like that wide, they're huge. And it's a mint green, mintish green. And I was just like, I've never seen one before. I've never seen one since. That's so weird. But then I read that they mean transformation and can mean visitors from heaven and all this stuff. So when I saw all that stuff, I was like, ooh, wonder if they have a Luna moth. So I stood there basically looking at through all of these little pendant things they had. I didn't find one, but that's all right. I mean, you know, it's not the end of the world. But I was shook over some of the prices. I'll tell you that. Just absolutely shook. So anyway, but we had fun. That's all that matters. But anyway, I'm going to end this rambling video about nothing. And I hope you had a great day. And I will talk to you on the next Tracy Tries. Remember, I love you and Jesus loves you. And hope he's coming back soon because people be crazy. Okay, bye-bye.